Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. No issues whatsoever, right, guys? Okay, great. So today onwards, we are going to start with our React.js. That is the aim of our today's class. So we'll be starting out with something called as Hello World in React. Okay, so that is our aim, like our very first like Hello World application in React.js. So again, for the same as well, we are going to use the platform that is Replit, just like what we have been using in the previous few days itself. So that is what we're going to do. Was there a class yesterday? No assassinator. There was no class yesterday. Today is the class that is going to happen. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so shall we start with our today's class, guys? Please let me know. Shall we start with our today's class, guys? Please let me know. Yes, no. What's the scenario, guys? Yes. Okay, great. So let me share my screen first of all with you guys. So present, share screen, entire screen, share. Okay. Okay. So we'll go and I'll bring out your live chat as well. So I'm able to keep a track of that. Okay, so pop out chat. Let's place it up on the left hand side. Let's make it a bit smaller. New tab and let's go further with Replit. Okay. Again, just like the last time itself, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the plus button right over here, guys. We'll click on the plus button, and then we are going to select. We're going to see more, okay, and we'll try to find React.js right over here, guys. So R is there, Python, Visual Basic, Scala, Julia, Pascal, Demo, LXC, Brainfuck. PowerShell, Express.js, Perl, Harvard C50, TCL, Latex, PyScript, Crystal. I think so. I should just search for it. Okay, so we'll just search for it right over here. React JavaScript. So we will be selecting React JavaScript right over here, guys. And then we're going to click on create REPLs. That is what we're going to do. It's going to create an environment for us where everything is actually pre-installed. We don't have to do anything right over there. And we can directly focus upon learning. We can directly focus upon writing the code rather than something else. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. If you guys are not able to use Replit, I'll suggest another platform that is CodeSandbox. Okay, so if you guys are not able to use React.js on Replit, there's another platform called as CodeSandbox, guys. It is also free of cost. You can use that as well. Just letting you guys know. But for our purpose, we're going to use Replit right over here. Now, once we have opened up Replit, as you're able to see, there are three screens in front of us, guys. On the left hand side, you are having all the different files, all the different folders that are there inside of our current sandbox. In the middle, you are having all the files that you will open up. You will be able to see and edit them right over there. And on the right hand side, you will be having your console, you'll be having your shell, you will be having your browser as well, whatever the case be. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on this green color icon right over here, guys. Is Replit better? So I don't treat it as such, but I prefer to use Replit. In many cases, it is much more reliable when it compares to CodeSandbox. Okay, so that is the reason why. So now that we have opened up our REPL, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to explore our files and folders that are there. So you're having this public folder, and you're having this src folder, then you're having this index.html file. So this index.html file is the basic HTML file, the basic structure of your website. All your React.js code is going to go inside of this app.jsx and index.jsx, guys. This is where all your code is going to go. But because we want to start from scratch, we don't want to have any prerequisite code right over there. I'm just going to delete everything from right over here. So I'm going to delete this entire file app.jsx. So I'm just going to delete that. And then I am going to also go into index.jsx. I'm going to delete everything from index.jsx, guys. Okay, I'm just going to delete everything right over here. So we are having a plain index.jsx file. The index.html file is just a basic template, guys. This is not anything that we are going to add to it. It's just a basic template, a pre-written template for us. So whatever we are going to code, we're going to code it inside of the index.jsx file. Now, up to this point of time, we have heard that okay, JavaScript requires us to write code in React.js requires us to write code in JavaScript, right? You guys remember that? Please let me know that React.js requires us to write code in JavaScript. Now, usually JavaScript files are named as index.js, sharia.js, suzy.js, app.js. Here, the file name is actually JSX, guys. Please look into it. The file name that you're able to see right over here is index.jsx, guys. So, what is this JSX? We will be learning in the next few minutes, and how is it related to JavaScript as well? What is the differences and everything? We'll try to understand it right over there. So don't worry, okay, I will be explaining that, but just be a little bit more patient, okay? Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to open up our website in a new tab so that we are just having the code that we want to write in front of us. So for that, just click on this particular button on the top right corner of your web view. Okay, there will be a web view right over there. The top right corner of that, you will be having a box with an arrow. So just click on that. It will open up your website in a new tab. And this website that you are going to create, you can share it with anybody. Okay, you can put it up on your resume. You can share it with your friends as well, and they will be able to access it no matter where you are. Okay, so it does not matter. It is already deployed for you guys. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do right now is that we can go back and we are going to just close this off because we don't require it. So we are having just this index.jsx file in front of us. Now, once we are having this particular file, the first thing that we need to understand is, so React.js, right, is a library, okay, and it is not inherently present inside of JavaScript. JavaScript is like you, okay, you are JavaScript. Let's assume you do not carry a library along with you. If you want to access a library, then you will have to get into a library itself, right? You will require a library. If I am a particular, I am Shorisana, right? I want to get access to a library of full of books, right? So I'm not able to access React from both these platforms. Anand, why? Most likely, it is your network issue. So try it after the bootcamp itself. You will be able to access it. Many times, maybe due to your network issues, you are not able to access it. Please try it after the bootcamp itself. So right over here, guys, like I said, if I want to get access to um, let's say our library, then in that case I will require a library at the end of the day. A JavaScript is a library. Please pay attention. I've already taught this 2 days before. I'm not going to repeat it again and again. Okay, so in the exact same manner for JavaScript as well. Okay, it's asking for premium to get access. Anand, why? Please try to understand it. Even I am not using premium. If I am not using premium and I am able to write code in React.js, then you can also. You want to become an IT software engineer and you are not able to access a website, then that is not something that looks very good for you. Okay. These are the small things that you should be able to figure it out on your own. You are the next generation. You are a generation next to me. You guys should be better at using a website than me itself. Okay. So please do not ask these silly questions because it's it's something that even I can't help you out with. Okay, I'm using the free version. If I'm able to access it, you will also be able to access it. It's as simple as that. So right over here, guys, like I said, the first thing that JavaScript needs is it requires this library called as React.js. Okay, it requires this library called as React.js, guys. So let's require it in JavaScript. To require a library, what you can do is you create a variable called as React. Okay, you create a variable called as React, inside of which I will be storing the entire React library. Inside of which I will be storing the entire React library. To get the entire React library, I just have to write require, that JavaScript requires, okay, which particular library? The React library. Okay, JavaScript requires the React library, and through this, the entire library of React will come to JavaScript. That is what we are saving inside of React. That is a variable name called as React, so that we are able to access it at a later point of time. We are able to access the library at a later point of time, guys. Are you guys able to understand this particular line of code? Please let me know. Now, every single time I want to access the library, I will have to use the name React, that is the variable name React, to be able to access the library. Now, there is a big problem right over there. After this, a few lines ago, or after 100, 200 lines of code, I can just write React is equals to 10. Now that access to my entire library is gone. Now that access to the entire library is gone right over there. Are you guys able to understand this? Because I declared React as a variable. Because I declared React as a variable itself, my entire particular, like if I write this particular line of code, React is equals to 10. Okay. Uh, Mahela, please be patient. I know you guys know a lot. Okay, but we need to go step by step. If you don't understand why I'm teaching you this line of code first before you learning about import, then that basically means that it is very essential for you. That means you don't even know this particular line of code. Why don't you know this particular line of code? Okay, yes, import React as React. That is also important. That is the latest trends. But this particular line of code, if you're not able to recognize it, then you guys are in a hell lot of trouble. Okay, step by step. Don't skip steps, guys. Otherwise, in your interviews, you will just shit. Your entire interview will just be a big pile of turd. Okay. So, like I said, guys, here what is happening is now my entire access to the library is gone. My entire access to the library is gone from right over there, guys. Now, this is not something that we can happen at any particular point of time to us while coding, right? So, how to avoid that? This is where the concept of constants come into picture. If you guys remember, pi is a constant. The value of pi cannot be 5.14. It is always going to be 3.14, right? Pi, the pi as a number itself, that is a constant value, right? It cannot change no matter what you do. No matter if I try to add something to the pi value is not getting changed, right? It is always going to remain the same. These are called as constants. And the exact same manner, because we are declaring React, that is a variable, as a variable itself, due to that reason, we can change it, we can modify it at a later point of time. To avoid React from being modified like we have done right over here, we are going to declare React as a const or a constant itself. Const. Okay, const React is equals to require React. In this particular manner, no matter what happens in the future, you will never be able to change the value of React. React is always going to contain the library inside of it. You will never be able to change it. In the exact same manner, there is another library that is very important for us to require right over here along with React, that is your React DOM library. Now, why is this React DOM library important right over here? You guys will only be able to understand after a few like tomorrow itself. Today I don't think so I will be making guys understand about React DOM. This is what we contains a very important concept of React, that is virtual DOM and real DOM. Like that entire concept I'll be teaching guys tomorrow, not today. So if anybody has this question, what is this React DOM, or anybody asks that in the live chat itself, please make sure that they know about this, that we will be learning about this tomorrow. Right now, if I try to explain it, it will just go above your head. Okay. Okay. The next thing that is going to be there is that we have created this. Now we are going to okay. The first thing that we do is we're also going to create a particular const app is equals to, and then we are going to have React parenthesis. So instead of calling React again and again, we are going to give React another name right over here, that is app. Okay. Now this is done as a particular like it is a historical thing itself. When Facebook created ReactJS, this is how they imported React and used React at the end of the day. Due to that reason, we are also doing this. Okay. It is basically just to make sure that whatever norms are being followed in the industry, we are also following the exact same norms. So that is what we are doing right over here. Now, once that is done, Okay, you guys can actually like ignore this as well. You don't actually have to use it. So yeah, we'll just ignore it for the while. It will come at a later point of time, but let's keep it at a later point of time so that I'm able to explain you the essence of that in a much more easier manner. Right now, if I try to explain it to you, you won't get it. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to render something to our screens. Now, many of you guys might have heard about rendering something, right? Have you guys heard about the meaning of the term rendering in normal English, guys? In normal English, what do you mean by the term rendering in normal English, guys? Do you guys know about it? Rendering. Do you guys know about this? Rendering, guys. Rendering. Okay, what do you mean by rendering in normal English? To get something, okay. Anything else, guys? To display something, to load something up. Very good. Performance won't be like good. Processing will be fine. Processing time won't be fine. To get something good, okay, giving something, okay, approximately the same. So rendering basically means to show something, to load something, okay. That is what it basically means. Right over here, what do we want to do? We want to showcase hello world on our screen. We want to load hello world on our screen. To do that, you are having the render attribute of React DOM. So just write React DOM dot render. Now this render takes in two attributes, what and where. Okay, this render property takes in two attributes right over here. What do you want to render and where do you want it to get rendered? Okay, so what do we want to get rendered, guys? We want to render hello world on our screens, right? We want to render hello world on our screens. So how, what do we want to render? Hello world. Now that we want to render it using HTML. Okay, so we are going to have an h1 tag right over here, opening and a closing h1 tag that basically says hello world. Okay, HTML or hypertext markup language, I'll tell you guys in short itself, is a type of markup language. Markup language basically means that using the same text to convey more information. Okay, using the same text to convey more knowledge, more information is called as markup language. A very good example of markup language is your emojis, right? You guys are using emojis on a daily basis. So the same text, what are you doing, can convey a lot of information using emojis. If I'm having a laughing emoji at the end, what are you doing? So I'm like, what are you doing right over there? Huh? Okay. Now, if I'm having angry emoji right over there, then I'm angry. What are you doing right over there? Huh? What are you doing? If I'm having a smirk emoji, then I'm teasing you. What are you doing? What are you doing right over there? So just by using emojis, the same text, what are you doing is conveying multiple levels of knowledge, multiple information right over there. And that is what happens inside of HTML. But instead of using emojis right over there, we use something called as tags. Okay, we use something called as tags right over there. So this is one of the examples of tags, that is the h1 tag. Putting this particular tag in front, this is the opening h1 tag and this is the closing h1 tag, will make whatever content is in between these tags as big and bold for our website. Will make it big and bold for our website, guys. This is called as the heading 1 tag. This is called as the heading 1 tag, guys. Now that you guys are able to understand the h1 tag, this is HTML right over here, we need to figure out where do we want to render this particular h1 tag. Where do we want to render this hello world? Now to do that, we're going to go back to our index.html file, the already built index.html file that we are having right over here. You are having another tag that is called as the div tag, guys. We're having another tag right over here that is called as the div tag. Think about this div tag as just a lunchbox. Okay, think about this div tag as nothing else but just a lunchbox. It is a container tag. It does nothing. It doesn't make anything big and bold. It doesn't make anything pretty. It doesn't do anything. It just contains other tags inside of it. Okay, it contains other tags inside of it. So it can contain multiple h1 tags, it can contain multiple paragraph tags and multiple other tags as well inside of it. It's just a container. Okay, so this div tag that is there has an id of root. Id is basically like your roll number. Okay, in your entire school, in your entire college, whatever roll number that you are having will be unique in the entire college itself. Am I right or wrong, guys? whatever roll number or ID that you guys are having will be unique in the entire college or entire school. So if I'm asking about BTech 10182/18, it will be referring to a particular student in the entire college. No other student will have that particular roll number or that particular ID. In the exact same manner, inside of this particular HTML page itself, there might be multiple div tags. There might be 100, 200, thousands, lakhs of div tags inside of it. We don't know. So we are giving it an ID, a unique roll number called as root. So that this particular div tag we will be able to identify by its ID, by its roll number, that is root, guys. Now the index.html file is also referred to as a document inside of JavaScript. If I want to get access to this index.html file, it is called as document inside of JavaScript, guys. Now, where do I want to render this hello world? Let's come back to the original question. I want to render this hello world inside of this div tag having the ID of root. I want to render this hello world inside of the div tag having the ID of root. To get that div tag with the ID of root, guys, we are having some JavaScript code that we'll have to write. That is from the document. From the document, that is your index.html. Okay, we want to get a particular ID, get element by ID. Okay, get element by ID, that is get the particular tag with the ID of root right over there, guys. So what do I want to render? I want to render the h1 tag. Where do I want it to be rendered? I want it to be rendered from the document, that is in the index.html file. Get the element inside of JavaScript. We call tags as elements. So get the element by its ID. Okay, and the entire particular document itself, there is only one particular tag with the ID of root. So it will get that particular thing for you guys. Now, if I save this and I go back to my website and I try to refresh my page itself, okay, it is not showing up. Did I make any particular errors right over here? Would I have to restart my particular thing? Let me check the console once. Okay. Why is it not loading up? Did I make any errors? React.render. What do we want to render? Where do we want to render? I think so. There is a problem with the repellent itself. Let us try the exact same thing with not console, with our CodeSandbox as well. I think so. There's a problem with repellent right now. Let us do the exact same thing using CodeSandbox. Let's do that. Okay. I will have to create a new one. Let's go back. Sandbox, ReactJS. Let's go down, create sandbox. Okay. Let's delete everything. Let's save everything. Let's delete app.js as well. There is the delete option, delete permanently, delete. Okay, index.js. Let us just copy everything up. Control A, Control C, Control V, Control S. Yeah, it's working here. I don't know. I think so. There's a problem with Repellent. That is the reason why it is not working inside of CodeSandbox. The same code, the same thing is working absolutely fine. I don't know why. So as you're able to see, the same code, I just copy pasted it right over here. and our hello world is coming up on our screens. Okay, I don't know what is the reason that it was not working in Replit, but it is working here inside of our code sandbox. So I will suggest you guys to use code sandbox right over there. That will be my opinion. Okay. So right over here, guys, as you're able to see, the hello world is coming up on our screen using this particular code. The next thing that we want to check up right now is that we have to, what is this JSX? Okay, so here you are having JS, but actually whatever files that we'll be creating, this is not actually JavaScript code, guys. Whatever code that you guys have written right over here is called as JSX code, guys. This is not actual JavaScript code. This is called as JSX code or JavaScript XML code, guys. Okay, JavaScript XML code. That is what it is called as. Now, why is it whatever we have been learning about JavaScript till yesterday was called as vanilla JavaScript or your simple JavaScript or plain JavaScript. So that was vanilla JavaScript right over there. Your JSX code right over here is JavaScript XML code. As you're able to see, this is not actually JavaScript code, guys. This particular part on the entire code is your HTML code. It is not JavaScript code right over there. So JSX code is like a hybrid between JavaScript and HTML so that you are able to easily use it right over there. You are able to easily use it right over here, guys. That is the reason why this is not pure JavaScript code. Now, browsers don't understand JSX code, guys. Whatever your React.js code that you guys are writing right over here, your Chrome browser, your particular Opera Mini, your Firefox is not able to understand this code, this JSX code. So you have something called as a compiler, a Babel compiler inside of React.js, guys. Having something called as a Babel compiler inside of React.js. Okay, so you are having this particular Babel compiler that is present inside of React.js that compiles, that reads your JSX code and converts it into JavaScript, plain vanilla JavaScript code that your browser is able to understand. You guys will be asking, sir, why don't we directly write our code in plain old JavaScript? Why are we writing it in JSX itself? We can write it in JavaScript. We don't require this Babel compiler. If you try writing this same line of code, this one line of code itself in vanilla JavaScript will take you 5 lines of code to do the exact same thing. It'll take you 5 lines of code to write this exact same thing. And as your code becomes much more complicated, your JavaScript code will grow exponentially. So just for example, for a simple web page, if you require 100 lines of code inside of JSX, you will require more than 1000 or 10,000 lines of code in vanilla JavaScript. That is the reason why we prefer using JSX rather than vanilla JavaScript itself, guys. Again, I'll show you guys Babel as well. Babble, Babel compiler. Babel. Okay, my spelling was very out of date itself. So as you're able to see right over here, this is basically your Babel compiler that we are using right over here, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Yes, no, what is the scenario, guys? Okay. Okay. So now that you guys have able to understand this, let us try to understand why are we not using imports? Why are we using const? Okay. So the reason for that is recently JavaScript has been updated. Okay. Recently in the past 2 to 3 years, JavaScript has been updated. And due to that very reason, inside of companies, inside of interviews as well, you guys are going to see these 2 lines of code everywhere because most of the previous version of React.js or your React code actually got their React and React DOM libraries using the require method itself. But using the updated methods, instead of doing this, you guys will be writing import React as React. Import React. I'll have to write it once again itself. There is some problem right over here. Yeah, it is very similar to Python itself. Absolutely, yes. It's very similar. It has become very similar to Python. Definitely, yes, for that. I'm so sorry. uh, my cough has become a lot, a lot more than before itself. What happened? Is my screen visible to you guys right now? Okay. I didn't know that it was visible. Okay. So like I said, guys, instead of doing that, you guys can write import React from React. And similar to that, instead of writing this, you guys can directly write import React DOM from React DOM. Simple as that. This is the latest method of writing code. I'm going to show you guys both the methods itself, guys, because you guys are going to see both the codes quite frequent, and it shouldn't be the case that you guys are not able to understand the code at all. This is the latest method of writing React code. I've shown you guys the older method as well, but because it is still in use, so I need to show you guys both of them. Okay, so we'll stop right over here. Tomorrow onwards, we will see what are components, why are components so important. We'll try to understand about React DOM a little bit more, about these virtual DOMs and real DOMs, which is a very important interview question for front-end interviews, especially for React.js interviews itself. This is a very important interview question, so we're going to spend a little bit more time on that. Right now, I'll be giving guys today's attendance, so start filling it up. As I said, the attendance will be closed in 5 minutes. You'll be having 5 minutes to fill up your attendance. Who the fuck is closing the forms? Nothing. I just showed you guys a new way of, instead of writing const React is going to require React. Instead of doing that, you can directly write import React from React. It means the exact same thing. It means the exact same thing. There's no difference between the two. There is no difference between the two, guys. Okay. It is just the latest method of writing React code. Okay, so right now I'll be taking up your attendance, guys. So please be ready. You will be having 3 minutes to fill up the attendance. After that, the attendance link will be closed. So I'm creating your attendance. I'm opening up your attendance. I'm creating the link for the attendance itself. I'm shortening the URL. And the attendance link will be closed exactly at 8:58. Okay, at exactly 8:58, the attendance link will be closed. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 8:58, guys. Please start filling up the attendance. Okay. The attendance will be closed. Sir, I do DSA in Python or Java. I'm interested in AI. Oh, do DSA in Java or C++. Do not do it in Python. Okay. Both the attendance link is in the live chat, guys. Please start filling up the attendance. We'll meet in our tomorrow's class. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 8:08. Sorry, 8:58, guys. So please start filling up the attendance. We'll meet in our tomorrow's class and continue from right over there. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.